And here we are again, as promised. This is Knives Part 2, and I thought this time I would show you why you don't want a non-full tang knife. And of course the biggest reason is going to be the fact that your knife's going to be your main tool. Alright, and being your main tool, you're going to be doing everything with it, up to and including digging for roots. And now here's a very, very nifty, neat little knife. Okay, comes in a neat case. It's got a built-in slingshot that you can attach different things to and use it as a slingshot. When you take it, it has the take-off cap. And see, that's the problem, because with this knife, you don't have the full tang. Alright, the knife is attached right here, actually through this little screw. So, you know, you have the hollow handle, which is fantastic to store things into. But, and this is not a cheap little knife. It's a Jungle King. It's not overly expensive by any means, but you know, it's what you would consider a quality knife. It's made by a company called Aotor, and it's, you know, it's got a good, nice shape to the blade. It's got the serrations on the end, which, believe it or not, do come in handy, and it's nice and thick. But where it attaches here, that's your weak spot. Now let's take a look at another knife. Now this is more suited for survival, even though it is somewhat shorter. It is a very short knife. It is one of my go-to knives. Made in Portland, Oregon in the United States. It's a Gerber. And it is full tang all the way through, as you can see. That's the end. This is all one piece of metal, and they have wrapped a piece of plastic around it. It's a good solid. You could dig with this. You could punch holes in a car with this. I mean, look at the thickness of that blade. Nice serration, which is handy. Very, very, very sharp. Small, easy to hold in your hand, easy to work with. Again, you want to stay away from a knife that is not a full tang knife, for the reasons, you know, like I stated. You want a working knife. Now, you know, I've heard it said you can have a knife that's too small, but you can't have one that's too big. Well, again, I'll show you this one. You know, the blade thickness, the full tang. This is a great, great, great survival knife, and it's something that, you know, you might want to consider as a full Bowie. You don't have to go this expensive. You can, you know, some of the China knives, while the metal is not as good, okay, they are very inexpensive, and they're great ones, especially to practice with. That's something you want to consider. It is actually practicing with a cheaper knife. Now this is a little gem here from China. This is a little hatchet, and it sucks as a hatchet, but it's better chopping than you're going to find with a knife. So, you know, it gives you a little bit. It's very lightweight. It's full tang. It's almost indestructible. I really wouldn't want to dig with this, but it has a wire stripper. It's just a neat little tool, and I think I paid like $7 for that, so very inexpensive. And now the pocket knife, everybody wants to talk about pocket knives, and they're great knives. This one's one of my favorite. Good strong blade. It's got a good deep attachment where it opens, so it's stronger than a lot of them. But still, the weakness is right in here. Now I wanted to show you this knife. This is one of my favorite knives. It's an old timer, made by Schrade. It's got a very, very comfortable rubberized handle. It's got a very interesting blade design. It's big, it's thick. Now I've used this back in my hunting days. I've skinned more than one deer with this. In fact, many deer have been skinned and cleaned with this, as well as squirrel, rabbit, possums, raccoon, groundhogs. Yes, folks, I've eaten them all, and they're all delicious if prepared correctly. Everything up to and including ground squirrel. I've had blackbird pie, pigeon, quail, dove, anyway, you name it, I've eaten it. Muskrat. But as much as I like this knife, I would never, ever, ever depend my life on it. It's thick, big blade, but as you can see, there's play. Okay, and what that play means is there's a weakness where this thing intersects with the body of the knife. Handy to have. If you have it, use it. But I will say again, don't put your life on a folding knife. If you do, you're setting yourself up to fail. As cool as they look, as cool as they can be open one-handed, you know, and you look cool with them. You can snap them open. Well, normally you can't. They're just not to be depend your life on. If you're going to put your life in the hands of something, put your life in the hands of a quality, full tang knife that will never fail you. And that's it for knives part 2.